Who's watching and reading the news is making news itself tonight. A new study says when it comes to knowing what's up in the world, men come out on top. Obviously, that can't be right. So we asked Catherine Cullen to take a closer look at this one. Catherine.
Allison, it is the kind of headline that had more than a few people in our newsroom pretty angry, to be honest. But there are some real issues here about who gets their news and how. These days, the news is so easy to get. Are women really getting less of it?
I don't think that's right. I watch news all the time.
It's mostly through my husband. He's the one that reads the newspaper every single day, and he reads us headlines and tells us what's going on around the world.
The author of a study on gender in the news admits his conclusions are uncomfortable.
In 10 countries, in 4 continents, women emerged as knowing less about public affairs than men.
1,000 people in each country, including Canada, were quizzed on the news. On average, men did 19% better. The gap was wider for international news, almost non-existent for so-called soft news, like stories about celebrities. The study's lead author has a few theories as to why. One, that women, still taking on more in the home, have less time to stop and consume news. Another possible cause, the news itself.
This week, our cameramen all over the world went to get the news.
While times may have changed,
And this is The National.
the study still found a lot more men being featured in news reports. Across the board, 70% compared to 30%.
Public life is still dominated by men, and television projects public life as being a male world.
Anne Rahala worked as a journalist and now studies women in the media.
I did frankly roll my eyes.
She says when she got over her initial reaction to the results, she agreed that the media aren't doing a good enough job, not only getting women on air, but also covering issues important in their lives.
The news doesn't always reflect women's lives particularly well, and so they tune out.
Rahala also raised the issue of the questions themselves, saying that, for example, whether someone can quote the unemployment rate doesn't necessarily show whether or not they understand the underlying issues. Allison?
Thanks very much, Catherine.